Throwaway. Because my relatives stalk my mane, and I want tonight's catharsis to survive until breakfast. I never thought wedding planning would rip off the scab of decades-old favoritism. But 5 months ago, my sister decided my happiness was a resource she could mine. What she didn't expect was that Grandpa still carries the iron backbone that got him through strikes and layoffs at the steel mill, and that I inherited his taste for strategy. What follows is the full account, names tweaked for obvious privacy, of how my sister's fake anniversary party detonated, how my parents chose the wrong side, and how Grandpa's will became the hammer of justice. Revenge is best served documented. Background, so you understand the family ecosystem. I'm Lydia, 28, software product manager, generally conflict-averse until pushed off the ledge. Emma is 32, certified Instagram micro-influencer and lifelong main character. When we were kids, she turned my 8th birthday into her half-birthday party by convincing Mom to order a second cake. So imagine that energy multiplied by wedding budgets. Dad is a retired high school football coach who thinks tough love builds character, which often means ignoring Emma's theatrics. Mom is a professional mediator by trade and chief enabler at home. Grandpa, 81, is the only person Emma fears because he never raises his voice. He raises consequences. Tom, my now husband, proposed during a hiking trip last year. We set the date for May 17th because it fell between work sprints and avoided any existing family anniversaries. Emma was maid of honor by default. I believed in clean slates. She squealed, Instagram lived the ring reveal, and immediately floated the idea of wearing white because my feed aesthetic is airy neutrals. I laughed, thinking it a joke. Strike one for me. Never assume Emma is joking when attention is involved. We booked Juniper Grove, a renovated vineyard 30 minutes outside the city. Capacity 120, stone courtyard ceremony, converted barrel room reception. Deposits totaled 14 grand, painfully saved over 18 months. I emailed the locked-in timeline to the whole family. Ceremony at 4 p.m. Cocktail hour 4:30. Dinner 6. The only minor drama was that children weren't invited after 7 p.m. because of limited space and an open bar. Mom fussed, but accepted after I offered a shuttle to bring kids back to the hotel. Everything looked solid. Fast forward to February. Emma started dodging bridesmaid dress discussions. That month she shot a sponsored Love is Forever post with her husband Kyle, complete with rented classic car and smoke bombs. In the group chat, she teased that something big was coming and hinted at renewing her vows for their 5th anniversary. I thought, cute, as long as it's not May. She never answered the date question directly, just cascaded emojis. Tom flagged it as a red alert. I chose optimism. The day the other shoe dropped was April 1st. Poetic, really. A thick envelope arrived with gold wax seals and Emma's monogram. Inside, invitation to Emma plus Kyle Forever 2.0, May 17th, 5 p.m., Blossom Hall. RSVP by April 10th. Blossom Hall is downtown, exact opposite direction of Juniper Grove. Her invite list, 60 relatives, many overlapping mine. She even borrowed the olive branch I'd extended by announcing, "Kids welcome all night." I called her within 60 seconds. She picked up, voice sugared. Me. Tell me this date is a typo. Emma. Oh my God, Lids, I totally thought yours was the weekend after. Deposits are non-refundable. Reminder. She had my save the date magnet on her fridge. I'd seen it during video calls. I looped Mom and Dad. Dad opened with, "Pumpkin, family first. Your friends will understand if you switch." I gasped so hard my chest hurt. Switch a venue booked 14 months ago? Mom chimed in, "Honey, Emma already paid, and Blossom Hall is more convenient for elderly guests. In that moment, I felt 8 years old, staring at my half-birthday usurped cake while adults applauded the wrong child. The next week became a PR trench war. Relatives messaged me asking which invite was correct. Emma circulated a story that my final contract wasn't signed, so my date was flexible. She screenshot a blank line in my early proposal PDF as proof. My inbox filled with passive-aggressive suggestions that I be the bigger person. Grandpa phoned and listened without interrupting as I ugly cried. After a pause, he said, "Let's apply leverage." I didn't grasp the weight of that sentence then. Tom, God bless the cybersecurity toolkit, began archiving everything. Metadata on Emma's invitation design timestamps, family group chat exports, screenshots of Emma liking comments that mocked my Bridezilla rigidity. He labeled the folder Operation Olive Pit because the olive branch had been spat back out. Phase 1. Make sure Emma couldn't hijack the actual day. Juniper Grove had gated entry. We added security and gave them photographs. Phase 2. Document absence. We reserved 5 front-row seats for my parents, Emma, and 2 grandmothers. If those chairs stayed empty, the video would show it. Side note, I learned mid-April that Emma wasn't just scheduling over me. She was actively trying to cripple my logistics. My florist called and hesitated before admitting Emma had asked for wholesale access to the same peony ranunculus mix and hinted my contract might be void if I couldn't pay an expedited surcharge. The florist, bless her professionalism, forwarded the email chain. Emma had posed as my coordinator, claiming we needed to downgrade because bride is reconsidering color palette. Screenshots added to Operation Olive Pit. Emma's sabotage extended to the band. She contacted the lead singer asking if they were available an hour later for a second gig at Blossom Hall, offering exposure on her channel. The singer declined. Our contract included an exclusivity clause Tom had insisted on. When the band alerted me, I prepaid their gratuity and added a clause allowing them to live stream one song if Emma tried to claim they were double booked. Petty? Maybe. Necessary? Absolutely. I wouldn't have survived the psychological warfare without Tom's weekly war room sessions. Each Sunday we sat with lattes and built decision trees. Possible Emma moves, countermeasures, evidence collection points. It sounds clinical, but it let me sleep. Revenge isn't an impulse, it's a project plan. And like every good project, it needed milestones, stakeholders, and a final deliverable. Peace on our wedding night. Grandpa left voicemail bombs. The first was calm. If you attend Lydia's ceremony, all's well. If not, I'll assume my estate can serve better causes than rewarding selfishness. He didn't threaten disinheritance. The lawyer clarified later, it was legally phrased as material reconsideration of beneficiary status. Semantics aside, my parents panicked. Mom barged into my DMs complaining I'd sicked Grandpa on them. I replied that Grandpa is an autonomous adult fully capable of moral outrage. Meanwhile, Emma doubled down. She posted a Reels montage of her in bridal boutiques captioned, "Should I do gold or still stick with white?" Comments gushed. She pinned one reading, "Steal that spotlight, queen." I screenshot every pixel. I also learned through a mutual friend that Emma had pitched her vow renewal to a lifestyle blog contingent on a professional videographer, paid for by my parents, because Sis's wedding content will feel redundant to my followers. Tom and I decided not to beg attendance numbers from the traitorous branch. Instead, we invited extra co-workers and college friends waitlisted earlier. Grandma on Dad's side RSVP'd yes, despite hip issues, declaring, I'll not watch the family break on Facebook Live. She booked the accessible room at the hotel and requested front row aisle seat opposite the empty ones. Said she wanted a clear view of who values what. May 16th rehearsal dinner. Tension thick enough to core sample. Parents showed shifty-eyed, claiming Emma was busy with centerpieces. Grandpa joked loud enough. Hard to arrange flowers for a party no one will attend. My cousins snorted. Dad called the comment disrespectful. Grandpa asked if respect was attending a fake anniversary during your child's wedding. Conversation ended there. Wedding day timeline from my POV. 07 Hair and makeup with bridal party. Emma obviously absent. 10 florist delivered peonies. I felt a jolt of pure joy. 13 photographer began candids. I disabled phone notifications. 15:45. Coordinator whispered. Shuttles arrived. Seats still reserved. 1600 call. Quartet started. Gate staff radioed. Parents ETA unknown. Emma at gate demanding entry for photo op before her real event. They denied. 16:03. I walked down the aisle. The emptiness of row 1 was stark, but I felt oddly at peace. Tom mouthed, "We got this." 16:47. Ceremony over, cheers echoing. While guests filtered to cocktail hour, I glimpsed my parents jogging up the drive, Emma yelling into her phone. Security guided them aside. Coordinators served them bottled water. They'd missed everything. Grandpa's lawyer, Mr. Ruiz, polite as a tax audit, noted times and snapped date-stamped photos of the vacant chairs. He left after witnessing my parents' arrival time. That's all he needed legally, apparently. Mom begged the coordinator to slip into family photos. The coordinator had strict written instructions not to reshuffle the schedule. Emma tried to shove past. Bridesmaids formed a literal human wall. Guests gawked. Someone captured a TikTok. It hit 15,000 views by midnight. Reception rocked. Dad hovered near the bar, nursing club soda, face pale. Mom avoided the dance floor. Grandpa, looking spry in suspenders, did the jitterbug with college friends of mine and tipped the band extra to play his Union fight song. Aunts apologized for doubting me. I told them the night was for joy. Accountability would wait. At 11 p.m., Tom and I made our sparkler exit, got cheered into the getaway car, and burst into cathartic laughter once the doors shut. Oh, and Emma's grand vow renewal? Reports trickled in. Out of 60 invited relatives, only 4 showed. A second cousin who hadn't checked email and Kyle's oblivious college roommate, and his girlfriend. Plus Kyle himself, of course. Blossom Hall's capacity of 200 made the hall echo like an abandoned warehouse. The florist, Emma, strong-armed, delivered 3 centerpieces and left. She tried to FaceTime bomb our reception from her empty dance floor, but security had my phone. Later, I watched the saved video. Emma in her white sheath dress twirling alone while a DJ played to nobody. Even I felt a flicker of pity before I remembered the florist email. Phase 3 of Operation Olive Pit. Controlled transparency. Monday morning, Tom renamed the evidence folder Timeline of Events Regarding May 17th Conflict and granted view-only access to extended family, plus anyone Emma had rallied. No editorializing, just a chronological arrangement. Screenshot of my December email with date. Emma's invitation metadata showing creation, March 20th. Clip of her boutique reel on April 3rd. Ceremony footage with timestamp overlay. And chef's kiss. A picture of Grandpa hugging me beside 5 glaringly empty seats. Reactions were immediate. Aunt Linda publicly apologized on Facebook under Emma's vow renewal announcement. Cousin Jake commented popcorn emoji. Mom phoned, sobbing that I'd embarrassed the family. I asked which slide was false. She hung up. Emma posted an Insta story calling the doc deep fake slander. Tom calmly added the story to the evidence as Exhibit LO. Grandpa scheduled the meeting at his house for May 24th. He hired a stenographer. Yes, really, because memory gets slippery when money's involved. Grandpa's threat wasn't idle. He'd spent winter auditing his assets with Mr. Ruiz: pension, stocks, the paid-off duplex he rents, and a collection of pre-war baseball cards appraised at 6 figures. His plan wasn't to punish. It was to reward values. Each grandchild's trust was contingent on milestones: trade school, college graduation, first home purchase, except Emma's, which required documented acts of restorative integrity. Mr. Ruiz later told me Grandpa coined that phrase over bourbon. Make her work for every dollar, like the rest of us did for respect. The showdown felt like a corporate deposition. Grandpa sat at the head of the dining table beneath the cuckoo clock that's ticked through every holiday meltdown. Emma arrived last, smeared eyeliner, brandishing a crumpled tissue. Grandpa opened with, "Present any factual inaccuracies in the packet." Emma deflected. Intent, feelings, vibes. Grandpa repeated the question. Silence. Mr. Ruiz slid forward a notarized will amendment. Emma's prospective trust, roughly $350,000, redirected to the Steelworkers Scholarship Fund until further notice. Grandpa's eyes never left Emma's face. She crumpled. Dad looked stunned. Mom protested that therapy was expensive. Grandpa replied that consequences are tuition. Emma hyperventilated, shrieking that Grandpa was murdering her personal brand. He said brands can be resurrected. Character takes longer. I remained silent, hands folded like I was in church, which annoyed Emma more than any words could have. Meeting adjourned with no agreement. The stenographer packed her machine, nodding to me with a small smile. Justice, itemized and time-stamped. Fallout spread faster than fresh gossip. Wedding wire vendors blacklisted Emma after screenshots surfaced of her wearing white to my venue gates. Apparently, they dislike clients who create logistical nightmares. 2 couples canceled contracts with her planning service, citing ethical concerns. Without new deposits, Emma struggled to refund them and blasted me in DMs for ruining her livelihood. I pointed her to the restitution checklist. Block button followed. Tom updated the evidence folder with her rant as Exhibit M. In August, Grandpa issued his own Facebook update praising integrity under pressure and discreetly tagging me. The comment section became a love fest of older relatives recounting their own Emma-centric grievances. Birthday candles blown out, graduation speeches interrupted, baby showers overshadowed. A pattern clicked in collective memory now that documentation existed. Social capital Emma once leveraged evaporated like spilled Prosecco on concrete. 3 months post-wedding, Emma emailed a 4-paragraph apology. Generic remorse, 0 mention of restitution tasks, closing with, "Let's move forward as sisters." I drafted 20 spicy replies, deleted them all, and finally responded, "I wish you growth and accountability." The scholarship fund received the first $10,000 transfer from Grandpa the next week. Mom called bawling. I suggested family counseling. She hasn't booked anything yet. Life on my side blossomed. Tom got promoted after his boss cited crisis management under pressure as evidence of leadership. Our honeymoon in Croatia doubled as a photo essay Tom's colleague turned into a UX storytelling conference talk. 30,000 views on YouTube. Grandpa visits for Sunday dinners, critiques my pasta sauce and occasionally winks. How's the olive pit today? If you think this sounds exhausting, you're right. Revenge high fades quickly. Administrative fatigue lingers. Therapy homework made me chart emotional ROI. Hours spent combating sabotage versus joy derived from a drama-free ceremony. The chart proved the math. Boundaries pay dividends. I laminated the page and stuck it inside our wedding album, next to a still frame of 5 empty chairs. It's a better souvenir than pressed flowers. Sometimes I wonder whether estrangement will harden into permanence. Therapy, yes, I pay for my own, helps me accept that revenge isn't a one-time event, but a boundary enforced. My goal was never to destroy Emma. She did that herself. My goal was to protect the sanctity of a day celebrating love built on respect. If collateral damage for disrespect is losing unearned inheritance and some followers, well, karma charged market rate. Grandpa asked me to archive everything for the family genealogy folder, so future Edwardses know why wills have clauses about humility. Hence this post, sanitized for the internet. If you're planning a wedding and sense a saboteur, remember, screenshots age like fine evidence, and silence delivered at the right volume is deafening. My sister taught me that spotlight thieves trip when they can't hear their own echo. I just provided the quiet. A lot of commenters will ask where Tom's family was in all this. Short answer, forming the cavalry. His mom, Patricia, a retired detective, handled surveillance logistics like assigning her twin sister to sit in Blossom Hall's parking lot and discreetly record head counts. His dad, who rarely speaks above a murmur, surprised everyone by offering to host any displaced relatives at their lake cabin, should they decide kindness beats drama. 3 carloads took him up on the offer, spent the afternoon grilling burgers, and joined our reception via live stream during speeches. Tom's younger brother even texted me a meme of Emma's empty hall with the caption, "Silence level ultra." Their solidarity felt like being adopted by a second, saner family. I reread this entire saga tonight, counting blessings and body blows. Reddit loves a clean narrative, but life keeps writing sequels. There will be future holidays, babies, funerals, maybe reconciliations flickering at the edges. If Emma ever fulfills Grandpa's checklist, I'll reconsider the blockade. I haven't welded it shut. Until then, the boundary stands, not out of spite, but self-respect. My final advice to anyone facing a familial Sabbath sibling: apologize to no one for enforcing respect, and document everything like you were born with a body cam. Now it's 2 a.m. in our apartment. Tom's asleep, our wedding photo framed above the desk. Him grinning, me tossing bouquet mid-air, 5 empty chairs framing the shot like punctuation marks. The chairs may be empty, but the space around us is full of friends, of earned peace, of a future nobody else gets to schedule over. And that, dear Reddit, is the best revenge I can imagine. I wrote this post to close the chapter, but also to remind myself that backbone is a muscle. Use it or lose it. May everyone reading find theirs before the wrecking ball swings. Because once you stand tall, shadows shrink behind your light forevermore.